Next level. Next level.
I'm Riley Harvey and this is VCN. We are live for race 11, stage 11 of the online events company's virtual RAAM, the RAAM adventure. We are tonight in the Appalachians. You have to forgive me, Appalachians, I've spelt it differently, I think, everywhere I've written it. And I think it's APPALACHIANS. If it's wrong somewhere, sorry. I just have a bit of a thing when it comes to spelling Appalachians, obviously, and can't get it right. So we've got a stage tonight that is roughly 40 miles, 64.2 kilometers. Should be covering roughly 1,594 meters of elevation. For those who prefer old money, that's around about 4,800 feet. We are in the Appalachians. We're starting off with a descent, and then there are 4 significant climbs. Let's call them significant climbs, with a number of other little kickers and undulations thrown in there as well. So there's 4 climbs that you would consider to be significant, and then there are, as I say, a few little lumps. I mean, you might not consider them lumps when you're on them. We are on the 11th stage tonight, so the riders' legs are a little bit fatigued, but we have got plenty of riders in the event tonight. We've got Jeff Rooney and Joanna Sharp lining up against each other. It's 2 New Zealanders who've completed every stage so far. They are close together in the overall standing in the GC. Jeff is leading in 2nd place at the moment, with Joanna in 3rd place, but this is Joanna's territory. This is hill climbing. Jeff's got a decent lead, but there's a good chance that Joanna will close him down on these climbs. So it is going to be a little bit tight on this stage. We're going off now, 3 seconds to go. Probably aware. Oh, Luis Gustavo Bellina is there, stuck on the start line. Hopefully he'll get moving. Just a momentary hitch. Tim Like out there we go. Bellina is going. Jeff Rooney commenting on the chat, good luck to all. And Jeff Rooney in 2nd position, Joanna Sharp in 1st. Tim Like, who we are with at the moment, 3rd position. Let's see how this continues, how this pans out. As I say, expecting this to be a stage that would favour Joanna as it is with climbing. We're on the descent section at the moment. Jeff Rooney, the heavier rider, taking the front, taking the lead, and just opening up a small gap on Joanna. He's going to have to do everything he can on these descents to go faster. Jeff unfortunately had a quite decent mountain bike accident, broke a number of ribs and did some fractures to his spine as well. Jeff's had to make some modifications to his turbo trainer bike to be able to ride this event, and has basically added a 2nd set of handlebars and a 2nd stem on top of his existing, so he can raise the handlebars sufficiently enough for him to be able to ride without pain, without having to lean over too much. And it's really good to see that he's been able to put in such efforts to compete at the level that he is doing during recovery. For those of you who aren't aware of RAAM, aren't aware of this event, it's the virtual RAAM. RAAM itself is a coast-to-coast race that takes place every year. It is 3,000 miles, give or take a little bit. The course does have to deviate from time to time from its regular slots, so it's not always exactly the same length. It doesn't always go through exactly the same places. We are running virtual RAAM, vRAAM, which is a 12-stage event. It takes place in 4 time slots during the day. These are all UK time slots, but you can obviously take part in it in any part of the world. It'll show in the Wahoo app as your own time zones, but in the UK it's 6 a.m, 10 a.m, the 6:30 slot that we're in now, and also a midnight slot. So in order to allow people from all over the world the biggest chances of taking part and competing in the event. It's a time trial event, so in RGT you can usually draft the rider that you're behind, but when you switch it to time trial, drafting is turned off, so it's completely individual efforts. So there is no benefit from being behind a rider. One of the things that's good about this is it's not allowed us to combine all of the slots. So let's say, for instance, tonight there's a reasonable number of riders in the slot. If you were riding tonight's slot and behind somebody, if drafting was turned on, it would mean that you'd get a benefit. You could share the work and you could both get a better time, compared to somebody who is in a less popular slot, who maybe didn't have a rider that was at the same power as them, and they were riding solo for the entirety of their time, for the entirety of the segment that they were on. That would mean that they would be slower, through no fault of their own. It's just through the drafting. But we've done these as mass starts, so you all start at the same time, but there's no drafting, so it doesn't matter how many people are in the race with you. It's going to be a solo effort, and it means we can combine the GCs from throughout the day. So if somebody takes part in the 6 o'clock, we can compare their times to the guys that are taking part in the 10 a.m. slot without any issues. So we've got a combined GC going on, which we'll show you later on in the show. But yeah, that's basically it. We've got 6, 10, 6:30 and midnight slots. The races are all taking part on segments of the course, so it's a vRAAM adventure. We're not trying to recreate vRAAM. What we are trying to do is to try and give people a taster of what the vRAAM guys are going through. So we've got 40-mile segments from the course, and as the course goes through 12 different states, we've split it up into a segment. Really tries to give you a taste of what that state is. So most of the segments from separate states, and just give you a little bit of an idea of the races it goes. You can get an idea of how hard the real vRAAM racers are having to ride to maintain distances of around about 250 miles per day. So yeah, they're riding kind of six of these segments, 6 of these races every single day, averaging most of the riders round about, it's about 14 miles per hour moving time, and a lot of them are riding for 20 hours plus a day. Really putting in some humongous efforts, these ultra endurance athletes. A lot of the guys who are riding these as well, it's worth mentioning, they are not professional cyclists. They are cyclists who do this around their everyday jobs, and quite a few of them have saved up holidays in order to be able to travel out to Oceanside and race across to Annapolis. They're not sponsored. They've saved up, they've perhaps called in favors of friends so they can get funding to go over there. They might have called in some friends to go over and assist them with backup crews, because you know, most of these riders, they're not doing this, they're solo riding, but they're not doing it solo. They are riding as part of a bigger group, and by that I mean they've usually got a crew with them, and they'll have crew chief, someone organizing the cooking, someone organizing bike maintenance, you know, lots of people around and assisting these riders as they go on to do this in real life, because 3,000 miles cross country is no small task. The logistics of doing that are quite serious. So Roberto Baldino is one of our riders who's been dipping in and out of the event, not quite completed all the stages. We are having a makeup day on Sunday, where if the riders have had any technical issues, they can jump in and catch up on some of the stages. We've got some of the riders who've unfortunately had travel arrangements that have led to them not being able to complete stages, so they've had to hit some of these makeup stages, and hopefully that will be we'll be able to provide a full and complete GC on Monday of this event. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up for a minute now and let you watch these guys riding, and we'll come back with some news from real life RAM. Try and bring you some of the excerpts. The RAM media guys are doing some fantastic work on the road, bringing some little videos of the individual riders and also some clips of the teams and just general clips of the area that they're going through. So we're bringing you RAM media images. So just a note, this vRAAM.org, all of the information, everything we bring you is coming from RAM Facebook, but there's vRAAMrace.org as well, which is RAAM race.org. And if you head over there, you can find the dot watching from the spot trackers that the riders ride with, and you can find out a load more information about the races, results, anything that you need to know about RAM is on vRAAMrace.org. So if you head over there, you can have a look at that and keep fully informed. Watch a few dots. So as I say, I'm going to shut up for a minute, leave you in peace to watch the riders go through, and we'll come back in a little while with some further updates and information on the race. And we're just seeing there, Joanna Sharp on the first climb has already caught Jeff Rooney. Jeff putting in some big watts here, trying to stay with Joanna Sharp, but we'll see whether Joanna's opened up enough of a gap going over the top of this to keep the lead on the descent. Jeff putting out 313 watts there, generating roughly 4 watts per kilogram. That's Joanna Sharp's target is generally that 4 watt per kilogram magic number for her, but she will be she will have planned for this race and will be planning to put out more watts on the climb. And, what's the word? Resting. That's the word. And we'll be resting on the descent. So we'll see how Jeff gets on. Trying to keep her in check and trying to keep her nearby. It is close in the GC, but well, I think Joanna is going to have to pull out some big guns if she's going to overturn Jeff. Jeff is going to try and do everything he can to hold on to that. Worth noting as well, you can see on the bottom line, there is on the bottom of the screen, there is the gradient graph. So anything red is a high steep gradient. It's going to be painful. That's generally over 5%. Right on the bottom in the middle of the screen, you can see an orange blob. It's kind of an orange line. That is a segment within the race. So the virtual RAM, the RAM Adventure, that contains a segment. So that segment is individually timed outside of the race, and there is a competition for the segment as well. So the fastest person to cross that segment, fastest person from start to finish on the segment, is obviously the segment winner. But we are looking to see who can do that the quickest, and it may not necessarily be the person who wins the stage. So at the moment, Jeff Rooney, I think, is leading that segment competition. But it was close. Bo Duke had pulled back a few points on that. It was within 15 points. The segment competition is being done on points in this event rather than done on time. So really close in that segment competition as well. And see Jeff Rooney there with the benefit of gravity has overtaken Joanna Sharp again, and there's a long run into this next climb. Tim Like, just fantastic riding from Tim all the way through this event. Just consistent, solid riding, nice, good power output. Far outweighs me. Jeff Rooney managing to push on a little bit at the front of the race, opening up a small gap, just 200 meters on Joanna Sharp, but it's close between the two of those. Tim Lyke in third position, and Luis Gustavo Bellino in fourth, and Roberto Baldino in fifth. I think it's just Robert Baldino actually, but I like adding an O. We'll find some information out on how the real life RAAMs are going. We'll bring you that in a moment or two. Jeff Rooney at the front of the race here with 20 kilometers covered, 43 still going. Joanna Sharp just a little bit too far away to see. Normally see about 150 meters ish behind the rider or in front of the rider, but Joanna Sharp not too far away. Pushing out 4.8 watts per kilogram on that climb at the moment, Joanna Sharp. Jeff Rooney up at 3.5. And just a quick little plug, if you check the onlineeventscompany.com, you'll see that they ran the virtual World Time Trial Championships last year. They are going to be running the virtual World Time Trial Championships again this year on the Borrego Springs circuit in RGT. It'll be a 24-hour event, but split up in the virtual World Time Trial Championships. There will be 3, 6, 12 and 24-hour championships. The 3-hour championship is something that's only available in the virtual world. There are limitations on how many people you can fit on the physical road, so luckily in the virtual there's not as many problems. You can get more people on there and you don't have to worry about them bumping into each other. So there is a 3-hour category added to the virtual World Time Trial Championships. Check the onlineeventscompany.com website for further details. From memory, I think it is the 7th of December. You could potentially be a real life IRL World Time Trial Champion and a virtual Time Trial Championship winner this year. So that's coming up soon. Registrations, it looks like they've just added some extra slots into the registration for the real life Time Trial Championships. So that's the World Time Trial Championships. And the details for that are also on ramrace.org, and they have their own website. Check that out on the Facebook page for RAM. There'll be information there.
Next level. Next level.
So just quick updates from RAM. The one of the riders we've been getting some regular information on is Harry Schweikart, and Harry has just pulled out of the race. He's a latecomer to ultra racing, but not a rookie of cycling. He's been racing many events, and he was first at 2016 Glocknerman Ultra, and it's got lots of other results. I think it was his first time at RAM though, He's done 2,194 miles to time station number 37, but his speed was dropping, and knowing that they had 843 miles to go and that everyone slows a little in the end, they felt that he wouldn't make the time cut, so they decided to call it quits. Harry, if you remember, was one of the riders who had basically gaffer taped some foam to his saddle. He was suffering that much with his rear end that they'd made some modifications. And one of the other racers came out, one of the guys who'd finished Raw came out and brought an Infinity saddle for Harry Spijker, which had helped him immensely. So Harry heading some news and getting some headlines for how sore his bum was. Got a little clip of He's a Pulver, we'll pull up for you in a second.
Getting some gas. You know, everyone needs more energy. She needs energy, the team needs energy, the car needs energy. And we got, well, how much? Like 350 Ks or so to go. So we are in the finishing stages now. Very good, loving it.
How's the crew holding up?
That's good. We changed the crews a bit because some have developed certain extra skills that we're really going to use now. And so we have changed the constellation slightly to really bring her home, because the focus now is on her from a safety and security perspective, and also for the mental support, of course.
I see a few familiar faces. Some of these people have crewed for her before here.
Yeah. Yes, Bruno has. The guy with the Swiss cap. He has been here a couple times already, but the others are all new.
293, yeah, from now.
Zip ties.
Now we're planning one more change of the crew team, and then she will come tomorrow about 3-4 o'clock in Annapolis.
Release! Cheers! Thank you!
There you go.
Next level.
So these are Pulver, and she's just conquered the Appalachians there. Those misty sections were going through the Appalachian Mountains. You could see how cold and wet and dreary the weather was. And she just carried on plugging away, hitting those miles. I think it's probably obvious to everybody, but just to make it clear that the clips that we are sharing are from the vRAAM Facebook page, the Race Across America Facebook page, and they do not belong to the to VCN or the online events company. The online events company, vRAAM Adventure, is an official RAM sanctioned event, which is why we're sharing those official RAM media clips, but all of the credit for that needs to be given to the RAM media guys and raceacrossamerica.org. All of the great clips, all the drone footage and everything is all from them, and it's something they do on the road, live. They're constantly chasing riders, constantly catching up and doing all these things as they're moving. It's a real difficult thing for these guys to stay awake and travel across the country, trying to keep up with all these riders and bring you this great content as well. So, and again, stop watching anything you want to know about the race. If you go to ramrace.org or raceacrossamerica.org, and there's loads of stuff there, or just search Race Across America on Facebook, and you'll find loads of information and all the upcoming things about the next events that they're planning. And if you want to take part in RAM next year, how you go about that, there's lots of different races you can go to qualify. Obviously, RAM is quite a challenging event, and it's not something that they're just willing to let anybody rock up to and take part in. You can go to smaller events, and if you finish well in those smaller events, you get points towards entry into the Race Across America event. So we're heading into the final significant climb with the front runners of the race. We've got Jeff Rooney and Joanna Sharp at the pointy end. Jeff Rooney is 29.7 kilometers into the race. He's 440 meters in front of Joanna Sharp. We're coming into what is probably the longest sustained climb on the course, and is just a little shy of the halfway point. We'll be at halfway point with the lead riders very shortly. Jeff's conquered the major climb on this course and is enjoying the descent now. Jeff, being a slightly heavier rider, is benefiting from the gravity. Joanna just coming up to the top of the climb. Won't be too long before she's tipped over that and into the descent. Joanna's just coming up to the end of the segment as well. The segment finish line just there. Joanna heads towards that and will shortly be drifting over the other side and into the descent. I have been trying to avoid it slightly, but it is a little bit difficult to avoid. Riders have been finishing the real life RAM. Most of the time they've been level pegging with us on the stages, but the last day they've just got away from us and are around about a stage ahead of us. So we'll bring you some clips of the riders as they're coming through towards the finish line.
Oh my god.
How's it going? How you feeling? Excited?
Wonderful. Never thought something that good. Yeah. Again in Annapolis.
And that was slightly emotional, Isa Pulver. I think that's the only time we've seen Isa when she's not been smiling for a few minutes there, where she was getting a little bit emotional with her team just before the final run into Annapolis. And Isa, the overall winner of the vRAAM this year, 2023. And in fantastic form as well. I think the last time we checked, Isa was 130 miles in front of Lionel Poggio, who was the next rider on the road. Really, really smashing it. Jeff Rooney closing in on the finish line with only 16.5k remaining on his attack on this segment of the race. This stage, the Appalachians, this lumpy stage. Few little bumps in the road as we're going along now. One more serious climb. It's not that big a climb compared to the rest of the ones on this circuit, so a little bit more elevation, and there's a lot of elevation just tucked away in little undulations on this course, constantly making people change their tempo. Joanna Sharp, 18.4k remaining. We'll check the standings as they are for the virtual RAM event, and we'll get those up on the screen in a second. Tim Light just about to hit the halfway banner. 32k point. You can see from the camera angle here just how steep these climbs are. It's 6% at the moment for Tim. And Luis Gustavo Bellina. Hour and 32 into the event. Looking like it's going to be a fast finish tonight for Jeff Rooney and Joanna Sharp. I wasn't expecting it to be such a fast stage, but looking like it's going to be around about the 1:55 mark for those two riders. Pretty rapid considering the elevation. And we can see the stage results here. The overall GC winner. That's the segment that we're in at the moment. And we've got Bo Duke there, who has ridden 11 stages. The only rider so far to have ridden 11 stages. Being followed by Jeff Rooney and Joanna Sharp, Tim Like, and Luis Gustavo Bellina, who will have all ridden 11 stages by the end of today. And we've Rodrigo Alegre, who has missed a few stages, been riding quite often in the 12 o'clock slot, the midnight slot. And Margaret Thompson, who's missed some stages through the through issues with travelling, not being able to be in one place for quite long enough. And Robert Baldino, who is riding tonight 167 after his name. I know Robert's done the real life round on a few occasions, and I wonder if that's his number from when he's taken part. For some reason, not entirely sure why, we've got stage 11 showing after stage 12 in the series results. It is the correct stage that's showing up. Not entirely sure why stage 11 is after stage 12. You would think that they would order themselves. But we can see Bo Duke is the only one that's completed the stage so far at 1 hour and 54 minutes 39 seconds. So it'd be interesting to see how close Jeff and Joanna come to that. Jeff's been very close to Bo's times in the more recent stages. In fact, across the board, Jeff's been pretty close to Bo's times, just not quite catching him. A couple of minutes here, 3 minutes there. Joanna has been pretty close to Jeff's times. So we'll see how it pans out at the end of this race.
Next level. Next level.
And we've got Jeff Rooney now coming up to the finish line. It's 100 meters left to go. It is a little incline up to this finish with 4% gradient. And he is going to round out stage 11. The Appalachians completed for Jeff Rooney with over 1,370 meters of elevation in the bank. Jeff takes it home in a time 1 hour, 58 minutes and 41 seconds. Joanna Sharp now closing out this stage. It's 160 meters to the finish line. Joanna's been pushing big watts all the way through this event, still kicking out over 4 watts per kilogram on this last kicker towards the finish line. Gradient creeping up as we get to that finish line, 4.7%. This is the last of the tough stages. The Appalachians conquered for Joanna Sharp there. Tomorrow we have got the final stage. It's the run-in into Annapolis. It is generally a downhill course, so I'm sure the riders will all appreciate the rest on the legs, but if I know Joanna and Jeff, they'll be pushing hard all the way to that finish line to make sure they get the best times possible. Uphill or downhill, they'll be hitting those watts.
level. Next level.
Tim Like now closing in on the finish line. Just this little kicker to conquer where he gets home. Lost Robert Baldino on the big climb there. Robert Baldino's dropped out. Have been in communication with Robert Baldino, and he was saying that he was a bit concerned about the elevation on this course and how well he'd cope with that. So I think perhaps he's chosen to take a break instead of killing himself getting to the end of the course. But it's been great seeing all the riders take part and enjoy the rides that they've been doing. And that is Tim Like crossing the line with time just ticking over 2 hours 45 minutes. He comes over in time 2 hours 45 minutes and 5 seconds. Gustavo Balina with 13.02 kilometers remaining. We'll just stick with Balina here for a little while, but we are going to have to bring the stream to an end shortly. Balina looking like he's going to come in well within the 4-hour cutoff window. Just a little bit erratic on the power here on the climb. Don't know whether it's gear changes or just getting in and out of the saddle. And with Bellina coming to the top of the final climb section on this Appalachians stage of the virtual RAAM, we're going to bring the stream to a close. Bellina, keep pushing on to the finish line. Catch up with Bellina in the results tomorrow. That is it for the stream this evening. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And I hope you all have a great evening, what's left of it. And with the real life RAAM slowly drawing to a close, so does the virtual RAAM, with tomorrow's stage being Annapolis, the final stage of vRAAM.